Hello everyone and welcome to my first slow English podcast. In today's episode, we are going to talk about something we all do, something very simple, something we do almost every week. Shopping. Today I'm going to tell you about a shopping trip. We are going to learn how to talk about going shopping, looking for something, asking about prices, trying on clothes, paying for something, and talking to a shop assistant. And as always, you can repeat every sentence after me. Look at the subtitles, listen carefully, and then repeat loudly. Don't worry about your pronunciation. Don't worry about making mistakes. Just speak. This is called shadowing. Okay, let's start. Going shopping. Last Saturday, I decided to go shopping. I needed to buy a few things. I needed some new clothes, a pair of shoes, and a few things for my house. So I made a short shopping list. I wrote everything down because I didn't want to forget anything. My list looked like this: a t-shirt, a pair of jeans, a pair of shoes, some shampoo, and a few things for the kitchen. I looked at my list and thought, okay, this shouldn't take too long. But I was completely wrong. I ended up spending several hours at the shopping mall. Before I continue, let me ask you a question. Do you enjoy shopping? Are you the kind of person who loves shopping? Or do you prefer to buy what you need and go home? Write your answer in the comments. You can say, I love shopping, or I don't really like shopping, or I only go shopping when I need something. At the shopping mall. I arrived at the shopping mall around 11 in the morning. The mall was already crowded. There were a lot of people walking around. Some people were carrying shopping bags. Some people were looking at clothes. Some people were sitting in cafes, and some people were just walking around and looking at the stores. I walked into the first clothing store I saw. As soon as I entered, a shop assistant smiled at me and said, "Hi, can I help you find anything?" This is a very common question in stores. Can I help you find anything? It means, do you need any help? I said, yes, I'm looking for a t-shirt. She asked, what size do you need? I said, medium, please. She showed me several t-shirts. There were so many different colors: black, white, blue, gray, and green. I liked the black one. I picked it up and looked at the price. It was $25. I thought, that's not too bad. Then I asked, do you have this in a different color? She said, yes, we have it in blue and white. I asked, can I try it on? She said, of course. The fitting rooms are over there. Now pay attention to this expression. Can I try it on? We use this when we want to try clothes before buying them. For example, can I try this jacket on? Can I try these jeans on? Can I try these shoes on? Very useful expression. Trying on clothes. I went to the fitting room. I tried on the black t-shirt first. It looked pretty good. Then I tried the white one. The white one looked good too, but I couldn't decide. Have you ever had this problem? You like two things, but you don't know which one to buy. I stood there for a few minutes, thinking, should I buy the black one or the white one? Finally, I decided to buy the black one. I went back to the shop assistant and said, I'll take this one. This is another very useful expression. I'll take it. It means I've decided to buy it. You can also say, I'll take this one or I'll take these. I went to the checkout. The cashier scanned the t-shirt. She said, that's $25. I took out my wallet. Then I asked, can I pay by card? She said, sure. I paid by card. She gave me the receipt and the shopping bag. I said, thank you. And she said, you're welcome. One item down, but I still had a lot of shopping to do. Looking for jeans. Next, I went to another store. This time, I was looking for a pair of jeans. I found a pair that I really liked. They looked great, but there was one problem. They were too expensive. They were $90. I looked at the price and thought, $90? No way. So I looked around for something cheaper. I found another pair. They were $50. Much better. I picked them up and asked a shop assistant, do you have these in a larger size? She checked the shelves and said, let me check. After a few seconds, she came back. Yes, we do. Here you go. I said, thanks. I tried them on. They fit perfectly, so I decided to buy them. This gives us another useful expression. They fit perfectly. We use this when clothes are exactly the right size. You can also say they're too tight, loose. If the clothes are too big, for example, these jeans are too tight. This shirt is too loose. Very useful when shopping for clothes. Asking about the price. After buying the jeans, I still needed a pair of shoes. I walked into a shoe store. There were hundreds of pairs of shoes. Running shoes, dress shoes, boots, sneakers, sandals. I saw a pair of sneakers that I really liked. I picked them up and asked, how much are these? The shop assistant said, they're $80. I wasn't sure, so I asked, do you have anything cheaper? She showed me another pair. They were $55. I liked them too. Then I noticed a sign. It said 20% off. That means there was a discount. I asked, is this pair on sale? She said, yes, they're 20% off. That's great. I love discounts. Don't you? When you see something you like and then you see a discount, it feels great. I decided to buy the shoes. Shopping vocabulary. Let's stop for a moment and learn some useful shopping vocabulary. Price. The amount of money you need to pay. For example, what's the price? How much is it? How much are these? Cheap. Something that doesn't cost a lot of money. These shoes are cheap. Expensive, something that costs a lot of money. This jacket is too expensive. Discount, a reduction in the price. Is there a discount? On sale, something is being sold at a lower price than usual. Is this shirt on sale? Receipt, the piece of paper or digital record you get after paying. Can I have the receipt, please? Cashier, the person who takes your payment. Checkout, the place where you pay. Shopping bag, the bag you get after buying something. Grocery shopping. After buying my clothes and shoes, I remembered that I still needed some things for the house. So I went to the supermarket. This was probably the easiest part of my shopping trip. Or at least that's what I thought. I needed milk, eggs, bread, rice, some fruit, some vegetables, and shampoo. I took a shopping cart and started walking through the supermarket. First, I went to the fruit and vegetable section. I picked up some apples, then some bananas, then some oranges. I also bought tomatoes and potatoes. Then I went to the dairy section. I picked up some milk and cheese. Then I went to the bread section. I found the bread I usually buy. But then I saw something else. Cookies. I didn't need cookies, but they looked delicious. So I thought, why not? I put a box of cookies in my cart. Then I saw chocolate. I didn't need chocolate either. But I bought some chocolate too. This is the problem with shopping. Sometimes you buy things you don't need. At the checkout. Finally, I went to the checkout. There was a long line. I stood in the line and waited. After a few minutes, it was my turn. The cashier scanned all my items. Then she said, "That'll be $47.50. I paid by card. She gave me the receipt. I checked the receipt quickly. Everything looked correct. I put everything in my shopping bags. And finally, I was done. I looked at all my shopping bags. I had bought clothes, shoes, food, shampoo, and things I didn't even plan to buy. I laughed and thought, I definitely spent more money than I planned. Have you ever had this experience? You go shopping for one thing and you come home with 10 things. Going home. I left the shopping mall around 3 in the afternoon. I was tired. My feet hurt. And I was carrying several heavy bags. But I was happy. I bought everything I needed. Actually, I bought more than I needed. When I got home, I put everything away. I put the food in the kitchen. I put the clothes in my bedroom. And I put the shoes near the door. Then I sat on the sofa and took a deep breath. I thought, I'm not going shopping again for a while. But I already know that I'll probably go shopping again next weekend. Your turn. Talk about shopping. Now it's your turn. I want you to practice with me. Imagine that you are going shopping. First, tell me, what do you need to buy? You can say, I need to buy some new clothes. Or, I need to buy some groceries. Or, I need to buy a new pair of shoes. Now tell me where you're going. I'm going to the shopping mall. Or I'm going to the supermarket. Now imagine you're inside a store. The shop assistant asks, "Can I help you?" You can answer, "Yes, I'm looking for a jacket," or "I'm looking for a pair of jeans." Then the shop assistant asks, "What size do you need?" You can say, "Medium, please," or "Large, please." Then you find something you like. Ask, "Can I try it on?" If you like it, say, "I'll take it." And finally, at the checkout, "Can I pay by card?" Congratulations, you just had a shopping conversation in English. Shopping challenge. Now let's do a quick speaking challenge. I'm going to give you 5 questions. Pause the video after each question. Think about your answer and speak in English. Question 1. Do you enjoy shopping? Why or why not? Question 2. What do you usually buy when you go shopping? Clothes, shoes, food, electronics, something else? Question 3. Do you prefer shopping online or in stores? You can say, "I prefer shopping online because it's more convenient," or "I prefer shopping in stores because I can try things on." Question 4. Do you usually look for discounts? You can say, "Yes, I always look for discounts," or "No, I don't really care about discounts." Question 5. What's the most expensive thing you've ever bought? Take your time, think about it, and try to describe it in English. For example, the most expensive thing I've ever bought was my laptop. Excellent. Useful shopping expressions. Before we finish, let's review some very useful sentences. Repeat after me. I'm looking for a t-shirt. Again, I'm looking for a t-shirt. How much is this? Again, how much is this? How much are these? Again, how much are these? Do you have this in a different size? Again, do you have this in a different size? Do you have this in another color? Again, do you have this in another color? Can I try it on? Can I try it on? I'll take it. I'll take it. Do you have anything cheaper? Do you have anything cheaper? Is this on sale? Is this on sale? Can I pay by card? Can I pay by card? Can I have the receipt, please? Can I have the receipt, please? Excellent. These are sentences you can actually use in real life. Final speaking practice. Now I want you to imagine that you're standing in a clothing store. I'm the shop assistant. You are the customer. Let's have a short conversation. A shopping conversation in English. Final message. So, what did we learn today? We learned how to talk about going shopping. We learned how to ask about prices. We learned how to ask for different sizes and colors. We learned how to try clothes on. We learned how to ask about discounts. And we learned how to pay at the checkout. But remember something important. You don't learn English just by memorizing vocabulary. You learn English by using it. So don't just listen to this podcast. Repeat it. Speak out loud. Pause the video. Answer the questions. And try to use these sentences in your daily life. Even if you make mistakes, keep going. Don't be afraid. Your goal is not perfect English. Your goal is better English. And every time you speak, you get a little better. Now, before you leave, I have one final challenge for you. Go to the comments and write 3 sentences about shopping. For example, I enjoy shopping for clothes. I usually look for discounts. I prefer shopping in stores because I can try things on. Write your 3 sentences in the comments. And if you want, tell me, what was the last thing you bought? Maybe it was a t-shirt. Maybe it was a phone. Maybe it was a pair of shoes. Or maybe it was something you didn't need at all. Thank you so much for listening to today's Slow English podcast. Keep listening, keep repeating, keep speaking, and don't forget, practice makes progress. I'll see you in the next episode. Take care. Bye-bye.